Hi, Democrats. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. I'm going to skip the part where I say Happy Wednesday because there's a lot to talk about. It is 4:21 p.m. Central Time, and in Atlanta today, there was an active shooter situation at a hospital. At least 5 people were injured. I don't know how many were dead because I sit in front of my computer most of the day getting a lot of stuff done. So I just happened to hear active shooter at an Atlanta hospital today. How many more? 5 injured, 1 dead. How many more? So as a recap, this time last year, there was a hospital shooting 3 miles from my house right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So where we are now is we can't go to the hospital and feel safe. We can't go to school and feel safe. We can't go to church and feel safe. We can't go to the mall. We can't go to movies. We can't go to a nightclub. We can't go to a convenience store. We can't, no, I was going to say we can't leave our house, but the guy who shot up people because they asked him to turn his music down were in their homes, right? He went next door and shot up people in their homes. There is no place safe right now because the thing we are insistent, and when I say we, I mean legislators, are insistent in protecting, it's gun ownership. It doesn't have to be reasonable. It doesn't have to be common sense. And we're trying to expand the limits of who can own a gun and how much ammunition and what kind of ammunition they can have. We're trying to expand that because gun ownership must be protected at all costs. And usually when people say at all costs, there's a little bit of hyperbole. There's a little bit of exaggeration or a lot of exaggeration. But this isn't exaggeration. When we decided that it was okay that 5-year-olds were gunned down, and that at that point, we did not need to have conversations about common sense gun laws, right? Because that's what we did at Sandy Hook. When we decided that it was okay for 5-year-olds to be gunned down, we, as a nation, made a pact that we understood that every day we woke up, that we risked being shot. Now, I guess some people could say there was always a risk, but it's crazy now, right? You can't go to the convenience store. You can't go to church. You can't go to a hospital, the mall. You can't go any of those places and not know that someone at a mall yesterday was shot, or someone at a church last week was shot, or someone who was just trying to get some health care was shot at a hospital. That's where we live, and that's what we've agreed. I, for one, am standing up and making sure that you hear me say, I don't agree. It is not okay. I do not yield. It is not okay that 5-year-olds who are just trying to learn some ABCs, that people at a hospital can't feel safe from gunshots, right? They're not safe from viruses or not safe from whatever health condition that drove them there. That's one thing. But gunshots? But that's what we're dealing with. And that's what we have decided as a nation that we are okay with. I, for one, am not. I, for one, will be calling my legislators and making sure that they hear my voice, making sure that they know where I stand. I live in Oklahoma, a Second Amendment sanctuary state, where we're saying we're not going to yield to federal regulations on firearms, where we're not going to yield on someone else's law about firearms. So we've doubled down. Not only did we say it's okay that 5-year-olds are getting shot, but we're not going to listen to any rules outside of our own. That's what we've said in Oklahoma. Again, I dissent. I don't, and I'm going to make sure that my legislators hear from me. I want to encourage you to do the same. Making sure that your legislators, be them Democrat or Republican, hear where you stand on common sense gun laws. And I'm making a huge assumption here that if you're watching me, that you believe in common sense gun regulation. Okay, so I want to move on. I hate talking about guns, and I actually hate that there are some people who only check in with me every once in a while, and I bet you think all she ever talks about are guns. It's not. So I'm going to move on to other things that are going on. So the superintendent of public instruction in Oklahoma has declared that there will be a Bible in every classroom in public schools in Oklahoma. I have a Bible. It's on my bedside. I am not anti-Bible. But I have a Bible because I decided to have a Bible. I don't understand how you get to decide, how you get to say that you're all for parents' choice. And then you get to decide that it's the Bible that's going to be in public schools. What if that parent what if there are parents who choose not to expose their kids to the Bible? What if there are parents who choose that they want to be there and involved in the Bible instruction that their kids get? What if there are parents who choose to raise their kid agnostic, Muslim? I can't even think of all the other religions who do not subscribe to the Bible. Want to talk about indoctrination? That's indoctrination. That's deciding. So I'm going to remind the superintendent of public instruction, because clearly he's forgotten, that the United States is built on the separation of church and state. That is not the separation of church and state. Just want to remind you. Let your legislators hear. Now, I will tell you, our legislators are annoyed with the superintendent of public instruction already. But they need to hear that we too are annoyed. And it's not just because of the voucher scheme. It's not just because of the stupid car videos. It's because he calls a union that people join by choice a terrorist organization. It's because he's insisting on a Bible in every classroom. Why is there a Bible in chemistry? Why? Why is there a Bible in PE? Because he is engaging in performative nonsense. Let your legislators know that we are not okay with that. I am not okay with Oklahoma just being known for ridiculousness, just being known for performative politics. But our state leaders are engaging in performative politics. The Bible in every classroom isn't about making sure that we love our neighbors. It's about being able to say that you did this big thing. Just like our governor going after OETA. Just like our legislators passing a bill that has no gender affirming care whatsoever. That includes counseling. That includes medicine. That includes surgery. None whatsoever. And once again, MSNBC is talking about Oklahoma. I will tell you that I watch MSNBC. I pay attention. I'm interested in the things that they talk about. But every time they say Oklahoma, I tense up because I know that they're about to highlight some embarrassing thing that's happening in my state. Right now, the ACLU is representing, I believe it is five people against this this anti-LGBTQ legislation that just passed in Oklahoma. You know, because we have extra money for lawsuits. It is more performances. I'll just move on. More performances. So the State House has Bill 1934 that has passed through the House, and it is the reworking of the Senate Education Bill. The House made their changes, got it approved in the House. They haven't forwarded to the governor's desk because they are fighting with the governor. Because again, that's what it takes to run our state. They are putting on a show. I don't want to watch, but I feel like I have to let people know. I have to break it down and let people know who are going about their lives and they're too busy to watch the 90 million news stations and reading all the papers and posts that I read, so that I can bring this information, this quick little snippets of information, because I think it's important that regular voters know what is happening in our state. Now, here's a performance I'd like to see. Last week, our legislature passed a bill that would prohibit tribal citizens from wearing their native regalia as they graduate from high school. I can't even imagine why somebody brought this up as a thing that we don't want to have. I don't even understand what the objection to someone wanting to represent their tribe as they go through graduation. But we passed a bill that said, nope, y'all can't do it. Don't wear your tribal regalia. It's against the rules. Why? Then I call it a performance because why? Why? It's punitive for no real reason. Oh, that makes better sense, Jana. So the bill was to allow tribal regalia, and it failed. So no still the end result is no tribal regalia, and I don't understand who can be offended. If the person next to your child who's graduating is a citizen of Creek Nation and they want to wear regalia that says that, how does that hurt your student? How does that hurt your child? It doesn't. It doesn't. I would like for our state leaders to focus on bills, that improve the lives of Oklahomans. There are Oklahomans today in 2023 that don't have clean drinking water. There are Oklahomans today in 2023 that do not have access to reasonably priced broadband. Those are some basics that everybody should have in 2023. And our legislature has the power to make it happen. But instead, we're trying to figure out ways to, I don't know, get on the news. I'm not even sure what it is that they're trying to do. But all of this performance, all of this fighting on the news about bills when y'all could be having conversations, y'all are in the same building. All of this, not saying to the governor, knock it off. Let's see this out. Stop vetoing everything. We have work to do. Needs to stop. Please join me in reaching out. I'm going to reach out to my legislators. I'm going to ask you to reach out to your legislators and make sure that they know you would like for the folks who work at 2300 Lincoln to do their job. And their job is to make the lives of Oklahomans better in a transparent. It's that simple. Be transparent, improve the life of everybody who voted for whoever they voted for. That's what they were voting for, however they define it. And let's just hope that our legislators remember that. We are 3 weeks from the end of the legislative session. If they end on time, we are 3 weeks from that. Let's see how that happens. Pray for the folks pray or send good vibes, whatever you do, for the folks in Atlanta as they deal with the lockdowns and the continued loss of life. And join me tomorrow at 4:15. You guys have a great night.